Hi everyone, it's Yoselyn with Remax Realty team bringing you this month's Market Snapshot.
Reading the market like a pro takes some understanding. Consumer curiosity is a real thing, and understanding how to spot fear, uncertainty, or optimism in the market and how to address it in conversations is essential. So, what are people thinking about real estate right now? Here are the most Googled questions. Will real estate crash in 2025? Will real estate markets go up? Will real estate markets improve? These are the questions that people are actually typing into Google, and they're gold. Why? Because they give us insight into the buyer and seller mindset. When someone asks, is now a good time to buy a house? They're not asking for data. They're asking for reassurance, perspective, and guidance. We need to answer with confidence, not canned responses. Today is all about sharpening our market mastery as we hit the midpoint of 2025. We're going to zoom out to understand what's happening nationally, zoom into our local Southwest Florida hotspots, and walk away with clear edge in this competitive market. Across the country, we're seeing mixed signals. Headlines about rates, affordability, and inventory often contradict each other. But here's the truth. Markets are hyperlocal. National data is a framework, not the forecast. What's important is how we interpret it for our clients. So, for example, while some areas are correcting, others are stabilizing or even appreciating. Clients need us to help them cut through the noise, especially first-timers and out-of-state buyers who may be fixated on headlines instead of hyperlocal data. Let's dive into what really matters, our backyards. Each of these markets tells a different story. For example, Lehigh is still the go-to for entry-level and cash investors, while Cape Coral is feeling price pressure from lingering inventory. Fort Myers is seeing some stability with strategic price reductions, and North Fort Myers is gaining attention for affordability near water. This is where our expertise comes into place. We don't just sell homes, we interpret the market through the lens of each buyer and seller's priorities. Now, real estate is psychological, nearly at every level of the process. So whether you're a buyer, a seller, decisions are rarely based on facts and data alone. They're driven by emotion, perception, identity, trust, and timing. What they feel is more important than what it is. Buyers buy with emotion and justify with logic. Loss aversion trumps gain. Reframing is a powerful and practical framework to help shift the tone of conversations from reactive to advisory, especially in a market where fear, doubt, and misinformation are everywhere. Educate. It combats confusion with clarity. So, for example, compare monthly payment scenarios, not just price or rate. Empathize. Acknowledge their emotions by validating their feelings without feeding the fear. Example, you're not the only one thinking that, and I'd be cautious too if I didn't have the right information. Engaging. Once they feel heard and informed, they're ready for action. Now is the time to shift into strategy. Co-create a plan, timeline, budget, prep checklist, etc. Offer bite-sized next steps. For example, equity review, pre-approval, private showing. The most powerful messaging always starts with the client's why. Instead of saying, it's a good time to sell, try this. Based on your timeline and the equity you've built, you're in a stronger position than many of our neighbors. Would you like to see how your home stacks up? Use tools like CMAs, market trends, and even AI-generated visuals to validate their goals, not just your advice. When we align our value to their priorities, resistance drops and trust increases. Buying or selling real estate is not a rational decision. It's an emotional one, rationalized after the fact. People buy homes because of life events, growing families, downsizing, relocations, and divorces. not because of interest rates. Understanding psychology helps us lead conversations. Mastering the emotional undercurrent is how we turn hesitation into motivation.
Thanks for watching. See you again next month. And remember, success is your only option.